This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Yes, as you probably saw from the title of the video, someone sent me an amplifier. A chap called Jim, who got in touch. He's one of my Patreon supporters, so massive thanks to him for that, and for sending me this Mooer SD30 modelling amplifier. There's the controls and so on. Basically, the story is that he was, I think, seduced by a YouTube video on one of these amplifiers, and he'd had what he describes as a little bit too much of the Scottish falling down water, and made the purchase. As soon as he got the amp, he realised it had been a terrible mistake, because he couldn't figure out how to navigate the various menus and stuff, and that is something that is can be a bit off-putting and intimidating if you're not used to doing such things. I'm not a big fan of amps where you have to squint into a display and kind of scroll through menus, and each kind of control has multiple functions depending on which mode you're running the amp in. So I can understand where he was coming from on that score. Anyway, basically he said you can have the amplifier, do a couple of videos with it if you like, and then pass it on to Zoe's Place, which, as you know, is the local kids charity around here that I support. The video that Jim was wanting me to do about this amplifier and these kind of amps in general is how on earth do you use them? What do all of the buttons and switches and menus and everything all add up to, and what's the score? How do you dial in a tone? Because he was completely all at sea with it. So that's partly what we're going to look at today. In fact, let's get straight on with that now. Here's me a little bit earlier today, kind of having a fool around and just kind of messing around with different parameters and showing you how everything on the amp works in terms of getting a decent, or getting a tone at least. Whether it's any good or not, I'll leave it for you to decide. Okay then, let's take a look what's going on in this amplifier then, and amplifiers of this nature in general. Starting with these four buttons you can see here, labelled A, B, C and D. They have a few different functions depending on what mode you're using the amp in, but the main thing you're going to be using these for is to select which preset you are in. You can see there are four presets, A, B, C and D, and there are 10 banks of preset from 0 through to 9, and we can go through the different banks by using this rotary control here. If you look in the display, you'll see it's saying bank 0, preset A, then B, then C, then D, and then one more, and I'm into bank 1, preset A, B, C, D, and so on. I can scroll all the way through all of the 10 banks, the 4 presets in each one, and so on. So let's go back to where we started in bank 0, preset A. And now let's have a look at how we would create a sound that we're going to use. That moves us on to this row of buttons along here. These are effectively like pedals on your pedal board, or more accurately to say, it's your signal chain. So this here, ODDS, okay, so that is overdrive and distortion. So let's say we want to add a little bit of overdrive or distortion to the sound that we get. We press that button, it takes us into that category, and we've got a number of different flavours of overdrive and distortion, starting with boost, overdrive, tube drive, and so on and so on, distortion, phase fuzz, and so on, like that. So let's say I just want to add a little bit of boost to proceedings. So I'm just going to, now I've got that highlighted, I'm just going to press down on this control like this, and then I've got I'm into the various parameters of that. These are would be like I've selected the pedal, and now I'm going to mess with the controls on the pedal. Gain, I can turn that up and down. Once I'm happy with where that's set, click down on there again. Volume, mess around with that if I need to, and then once I'm happy with that tone and so on, I can mess with that. And once I'm happy with the sound that I've got, let's have a listen to the sound that we have got, because I'm just noodling randomly here. I'm just going to pick up my guitar and see how that's beginning to sound. So that is the tone that I've got dialed in there. Maybe I want to add a little bit more gain to that. And that is, giving us that sound that we just heard there. So, let's say I'm happy with that. Maybe I want to add a little bit of modulation. What is modulation? It's basically chorus, flanger, and the other effects that we've got in here. You can see there's chorus, flanger, phaser, tremolo, vibrato, filter, ring modulation, stutter, and pitch shift. I think we'll go for the obvious choice here, which is a little bit of chorus. So what is that going to do to the sound? Well, it's going to do this. Not immediately obvious what that's doing, so I'm going to crank it up a bit. Just go to the level and crank this up so we've got a lot more of the chorus in the sound. Let's have a listen. And just so you can hear what that's doing, let's turn the modulation off. We just hit that button there and the modulation effect is turned off, and without that it sounds like this. Then with it back on, it sounds like this. Maybe I decide I want a bit of flanger on there instead of chorus. So let's go to that and hit the flanger, see what that does to the sound. Very 70s. We're building quite a kind of wacky sound here. Let's add some delay to that. So we've got various different types of delay. We've got tape echo, we've got echo, we've got dynamic echo, we've got analog delay, we've got digital delay. Let's go with a bit of old school tape echo. So I'm going to select that, crank the level up and see what we've got. Very Dark Side of the Moon, Gilmore-ish that, I think. And then maybe we want some reverb on it as well. There's already some on, but we can mess around with it. We've got plate reverb. We've got, let's go over here. We've got room reverb, hall reverb. A hall is bigger than a room, so it's a bigger reverb. A church is bigger than a hall, so that's a bigger reverb. Then we've got the old school plate reverb, mod, not sure what that is, and spring reverb. Let's add a little bit of spring reverb, crank the level up again, and see what that does. So now we've got... And let's say that is the perfect sound for whatever part that you're recording, and you want to save that so you can just dial it all back up with a press of one button. What we do is we hit the save function, and then using this control here, we're going to go to, maybe let's put it into bank 3A. So there we go. Once I've selected that, I can hit the that I can basically change the name of it as well, but I think we're just going to save it there like that. And in bank 3A I now have that sound that I've just dialed in, or any other sound that you could dial in using these basic techniques like this. As I say, all you got to think about it is this is your signal chain, your overdrive pedal, the amp, then the chorus, delay and reverb effects, and you can mess around and get any combination of those that you want and then save them into one of these locations here, which you can then scroll to or go to with the included foot switch. Now, I don't think I would probably use that tone I was messing around with there as a finished product. It's a little bit over the top for my tastes, but it gives you an idea of how to navigate the menus on this amp and amps of this nature. They're all sort of pretty much of a muchness in terms of the the architecture of the menus and so on. I have, however, had a little bit of a go recording with this amplifier. Now, I'll say just before we go any further that you can't plug this amplifier into your computer and use it as a recording interface like you can with the other amp that you've seen me use a few times, the Positive Grid Spark. So, how did I record it then, I hear you ask? Well, with one of these 30 quid's worth of Behringer B906 microphone from the good people at Thomann. I have no experience at making up amplifiers, and I was a bit, kind of nervous about doing it, but whether I just got lucky or not, I don't know, because certainly with this amp, I don't suggest that, like, if you get some, like something a little bit more high-end than that amp, but with this amp, I stuck the mic straight in front of the speaker on the little stand like that, and had a go at recording a couple of test pieces, and the sound that I was hearing in the room is the sound that ended up getting recorded. So maybe, as I say, maybe I was just lucky. So as I say, I've set up like a clean and a crunch and a kind of a high gain lead tone that I use to record a little piece of music with, which sounds like this. And as always, there is a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a backing track for you to play along with for yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, and the link is, as ever, in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month, and you get access to all of these bits and pieces that go along with these YouTube videos. Massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below. Yes. Now, what that little demo there goes to prove, I will just say, by the way, there was no, kind of post-production effects or anything on there. All of the reverbs and delays and everything that you heard were coming from the amplifier. The tones that I was using there, I don't think I would say are a finished product. They're a work in progress. You can set up a tone when you're fooling around with an amplifier when there's nothing else going on, and you think, yeah, that sounds pretty good, and then you get it into a mix and you think, I need to dial back the reverb, or I need to tweak the EQ or something like that. But they're a starting point from which I shall probably experiment and kind of hone them a little bit more, because you see, I'm not giving the amp to Zoe's place, which was the original plan. I'm keeping it. So in return for the amp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to donate this amp to Zoe's place. This, as you know, is my Positive Grid Spark. Basically, I've had me fun with this. It was an itch that needed scratching, and I've scratched the itch. I like the sounds in the Spark, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm liking the tones that I'm probably going to get out of the Mooer just that little bit more. Plus, there's all of the additional bells and whistles in the Spark, like the Smart Jam function, and it'll tell you what chords are in a song that you found on YouTube and everything. No, it won't. It's just none of that stuff works properly. The other thing I've noticed about the Spark is that you may have noticed there's a new PC over there. I used to have a little laptop in the corner there, and the Spark was the speaker system for that laptop. But I've had a bit of a reorganisation around here, and there's a new PC there that's got a recording interface to go with it and stuff, so I don't really need an amplifier that plugs in and works as a recording interface. Plus, now I've got over me nervousness about miking up an amp, then I'm probably, when I'm using an amp, that's probably the way I'm going to do it from now on. The Spark is going to Zoe's place. The Spark is about 100 quid more than the Mooer anyway, so I think that's a bit of an upgrade for what the charity you're going to get. As I say, I've had me fun with it, and it's time to move it on. There may be some more amp demos and reviews coming now. Now I'm kind of over my nervousness about miking things up. We shall see. And that is very much the video for today, folks. I hope you've found it entertaining and informative in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk music and guitars. What is not to like about that? A fantastic way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.